Are you ready to create, share, spread joy by making creations that are a reflection of you? If so, stay tuned to be inspired. With tags, I will be using dies, but you can use punches or even pre-made tags. You'll need a stamp set that has a to and from in it. I have a Stampin' Up! One that came out of a pumpkin box. I decided to use the two largest die cuts. They can also be layered to make a tag if you'd like, but I'm going to be using them separately for this project. I will be getting out my Tim Holtz trimmer. I love this trimmer, and I'm cutting some white paper at 5.5. It's the same way as if you would cut a card base, and I'm going to cut 2 of these out. This makes it quick and easy at 5.5. It's marked at 5.5, and I will be using this to cut out my dies with white paper. And so now I have 2 tags. I've decided I want to use pattern paper. You can use any pattern paper in your stash. I will be cutting the pattern paper at 5.5. I had cut a small edge off the top, and this will make it easy to run through my Gemini Junior. And also, I can get several tags out of one sheet of paper. So here are my 2 pieces that I can use, and I'm going to show you a mistake that I made. When I put the dies down, I didn't think about how the pattern paper was running, and I didn't like the fact that the tags cut off most of the scenery. So the next ones that I did, I flipped the tags around so that we had better looking tags. So that's a tip for you. And also the back of this paper is nice because it is white on the back. So right there you instantly have 2 tags ready to go for your packages, and you don't have to do anything else. But of course, I'm not going to stop there. We're going to see also how we can jazz up these tags a little bit. Next, I've pulled another piece of pattern paper, and I'm going to cut the top of that off and turn it to 5.5 and cut it again at 5.5. One of the things I want to tell you is if you have scraps around, especially of your Christmas paper, use them up. Make tags. Most people throw your tags away. They get lost in the shuffle of the gifts, and they're more focused on that instead of saving the tags. So this is just a quick way to use your tags. Now here on this pattern paper, it doesn't matter which direction that we put our dies, and the pattern paper's nice because it has 2 patterns, so we can use either side. I have die cut the pattern paper so you can see in different directions based on how we laid the dies out. And the stripes look great on both sides, and so do this flower ensemble here. So now we have 4 quick tags, and I'm going to show you how to make these tags. So we could just stamp on this tag, but now we need to decide on what side of the paper we want to use, and I've decided on this flower side of the paper to make the tag. Now I'm sorry that was a little blurry. I'm going to be getting out my Gina Connect glue. I love this glue. I didn't think I would, but it makes it easy when you put things down. So we'll just put some glue back on here. It holds really strong, and it gives me drying time, and you'll see as we go along for wiggle room to get this right. So this one lays down pretty good, and I just have to adjust it a tad bit. But now we have a tag. We have a tag that we are ready to go to the next step. But let's put that aside, and I'm going to pull out 2 more pieces. Now here I make a big mistake, but it can also not be a mistake. So I put glue down on this paper and I don't realize it's my pattern paper. And I put the two together. But the great thing, again, about the Gina Connect glue is I'll be able to take them apart. But if I wanted to, this could be a tag on its own. And I could just write on the striped side the to and from. And there you go. But now I've decided, nope, that's not what I want to do. I still have time to take these apart. I can insert my white dyed cut tag, makes it a little stronger of a tag, and then for this one I can do the exact same thing. So I've had plenty of time to put these together, wiggle them around. I find that that's not perfectly straight. I still have some time to fix it before it really adheres down. And there you go. So this will hold very strongly, and now I have 3 tags and one that I am not, the small one, I'm not going to put white on the back of. So I'm going to get out my MISTI because this is the great tool for this, and I'm going to get my to and from stamp out of my set. And this will probably give you a heart attack when I do this. And again, I'm sorry that it's blurry. But when I go to put the to and from down, they are too close together and it's not enough room to write. So I decide that I'm going to cut my stamp so that I can make those words be apart. So I get out my scissors and turn the stamp over and I cut it in half. And now I'm going to do to up at the top and from. But I need to get this lined up, and that's what's nice about the MISTI. I may not lay it down perfectly straight. It has some grid lines, so I can take and adjust the to and the from and get that lined up. But before I waste my tag and stamp on it, I will pull one of those sheets of paper that I have cut out and put it inside the MISTI as a sample so I can make sure that I have lined this up properly. And don't worry, you haven't wasted the paper when you stamp on it, because you can always cut another tag from it and line up your die. So I get out my Memento black ink and I'm going to ink up the to and the from, and if it lines up right, oh, that looks wonderful. I can leave it in place and start stamping my tags. So I want to get my magnet to hold down my tag, and then I'll ink up my to and from again and then stamp it over onto my tag, and now I have a new tag. And because the to and from are lined up in the MISTI, it makes it easy to just keep duplicating the same process by stamping the to and the from. And I can do this on each stamp set. So here's the one that I didn't put a backing on. I decided just to use the white part of the paper to make the tag, and I am going to stamp to and from again. And this just makes it really quick to make these tags without having the stamping MISTI. It would take me a lot longer and I would be more prone to make mistakes. So I just love how quick this turned out. And normally I would probably make a lot more of these tags. Next, I'm going to get out my chamois to clean my stamps. One of the things, a tip for using the chamois to re-wet it, it's a Lawn Fawn chamois, is I use hot water, and that just really makes it soft and pliable for a while. And I'll go ahead and put my to and from back on to my stamp set. Another way to jazz up your stamps is to add other words to it, so like Happy Holidays at the bottom of this one. and I decided I liked it at the bottom instead of the top. And so I can alter the tag just by putting some words on it, like Happy Holidays. Again, these tags don't have to be fancy. They can be simple. Most people don't really even look at the tags even when you buy them in the store. But it just makes it really quick and a great way to use your supplies. Another way to jazz this up, and I'm going to use my mat to cut this out, is to cut a piece of twine. And I'm just going to show you this on one tag. These don't cut very good with these scissors. My scissors are starting to get dull. But then we can just put this tag through and make a little knot at the end, and then we can tie this on a gift bag, or we can add it with some tape to a package, however we want to. Now, I struggled with tying a knot here. I'm not sure, I just couldn't get coordinated enough. But you could also use ribbon. Ribbon would be beautiful through here too. And I like to always just kind of double knot it. And so that is another way to just jazz up these tags and to add a way to attach it to your bags or your packages. And so another way to jazz up tags is to use enamel dots or stickles. And I have a big box of stickles, and I'm looking at my stickles, and I really think the gold should be used. So I'm going to pull out my gold stickles for this. And stickles are great because it's puffed up glitter glue, and when it dries it stays puffy. And I love it because it adds a little dimension to my project, just like enamel dots. If you don't have stickles, you could even use gems or sequences if you wanted to add a little sparkle to the tree. I wanted to put some ornaments on the tree, and I just felt like it took it up to the next notch. And whenever I was looking at the tag, I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and get some red stickles out. And one of the things I do before I use my stickles is I just tap the top of the cap so that I can get the stickles down to the top and be able to squirt it out easily. And I just added some dimensions to my holly berries. So here's another great way to jazz up your stamps, your tags, with some glitter glue. Another thing is we can add one of my favorite products to this tag. And this technique is basically where you're going to sponge on the ink. And I use this technique often when making cards, just to add a little dimension to it. So you can use any stamp pad that you want. I'm using a Stampin' Up! Emerald stamp pad that's green. I thought the green would look best on this tag, and I go around the edges and blot on the color, and it just adds a hue of color to your project. But when I was doing this, I got a little green somehow where the to and from is. And so not to worry, because we all make mistakes. I'm going to get out my mono eraser, and this thing is wonderful when you get a little ink where you don't want. So it basically sands the paper, the little bit of ink off, and just makes it magic as if it wasn't there. Now for the from, I was scared it was going to take more of my black ink off, so I won't be able to get all that green, but I doubt anyone's really going to notice that. So here is this one with the Happy Holidays and just a little bit of the sponging of the color. Now if you're a distressed inker like me, you can also really ink this up using your distress inks, and I decided to use Barn Door, and I started putting the ink down along the sides so you can do exactly the same thing. But you can also, if you want to just color the whole back of the tag, which I kind of got carried away about, I decided just to throw a sheet of paper down instead of get out my Tim Holtz mat and just color this up and really just add some red and just make it different on the back side. So that's another quick way that you could just jazz up the simple tag. And of course you can layer it down as much as you'd like. So these are just great simple tags that you can make quickly, and it doesn't take any time, and they're just very nice, plain and simple. And you can do this with any cardstocks, any colors, whatever you would like, and they will just add a little bit of charm to your packages. And you can see all the different ways we made them, from the most simple to more intricate. Thank you for stopping by today. I hope this inspires you to make some quick tags for your Christmas presents. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit that notification bell and give it a thumbs up. Thank you for stopping by, and Merry Christmas.